Welcome, this is the video for fitness testing for the Sport BTEC Award Unit 1 online exam. Your first question today is, why are fitness tests important? Or another way of putting that question is, in what way would fitness tests be used? Make sure you pause the video before progressing on, come up with as many answers as you possibly can. And here are the possible answers. So they link together quite well actually, if you're trying to remember them. The first one is to provide a coach with baseline data results. Coach can then use this to compare people within their team or to draw conclusions about an individual's fitness levels. You can give a starting point on which to base a training program design. So you could say that this person is at this level and we're going to produce or implement this training program to improve that level. Or you can give a sports performer or an athlete a clear goal and target to aim for. So you could say that their fitness test is at this level and within 6 weeks we want them at this level. Hopefully those are quite clear, and we'll progress on through the next part of the video. Right, so on the screen there's an example of an informed consent form. Now that is here on the screen, and the question I want to ask is, what is an informed consent form actually used for? It's got a number of different roles. Hopefully you'll know some of them, if not all of them. So I want you to pause the video and write down as many as you possibly can. Right, so an informed consent form ensures the participant is able to follow the test method. So it would tell them exactly what the testing method is, know exactly what is required of them during the test, has fully consented to participation in fitness tests, so you'll get their actual consent to take part in it, knows what they're able to ask the tester, tutor or assessor any questions related to the test. So it would tell them if you've got any concerns to actually ask the person administering the test, and ensures they understand that they can withdraw their consent at any time during the testing. Even though that they've signed up to actually do it, they can still withdraw at any time. Now, rather than ask you questions from here on, I'm actually just going to give you a bit more information on fitness testing and things around fitness testing. So keep listening, try and make some notes, try and remember the information that you're being given. So we're going to look at calibrating equipment. Calibrating equipment is essentially checking the accuracy of the fitness testing equipment you're going to be using. You do this by comparing it to recognised standards that everybody adheres to. Prior to testing equipment, prior to testing, you should always check the equipment that you're using. If the equipment is not calibrated correctly, it could lead to invalid results, and therefore any testing that you do using that equipment couldn't be used and can't be compared to the national normative data. So, based on that, how can you ensure that you are collecting and recording accurate test results then? It's a few different ways. See if you can write those down, and I'll progress through to the answers. Right, so there they are on the screen. So you should always practice each of the tests before you begin collecting your data. By practicing it, you're familiar with what's happening and how to go about the testing, and any small mistakes that you would do at the beginning sort of get ironed out, and you're well aware of what you're doing. You should use an appropriate data collection sheet to record your results. You should record each result as you get it, so then you don't forget it. If you leave it a little bit of time, you might forget what it is and record it inaccurately. For most accurate results, you should repeat testing. So this basically means that you're not just testing them once and get a one-off. You test them a few times and get a bit of an average of how you've performed over a period of time. For non-maximum tests, that's things that you don't have to work to your maximum and get really tired doing. Things like the hand grip dynamometer, the sit and reach tests. You can do those on the same day. You should do the one at the beginning of the day, at the end of the day, and that'll be absolutely fine. For maximum tests, things like the multi-stage fitness test, the bleep test, you should wait 24 hours before repeating that test. You should always use the correct units of measurement. So for things like the BMI, you should measure your weight and your height in the right measurement. You shouldn't be measuring them in centimetres or something like that. You should measure them in metres, and you should be measuring in kilograms for your weight. And you should always use the published normative data tables to interpret your fitness test results. If you don't use that normative data, then you're just coming up with your own measures basically, and it's not going to be valid. Right, there are three key factors of your test results, and I want to know what are they and what do they mean. It's a bit of a hard question because I haven't given you any sort of hint as to what they could be, but hopefully you'll be able to get them. Good luck. Right, so every single time that you test somebody using a fitness test, these are three things that you're looking at. The reliability of it. So this basically means if you tested the same person using the same conditions and the same environment, they should gain exactly the same result every single time. Now, it's hard to replicate the environment and the conditions every single time, so that's why the results vary slightly. But if you manage to replicate them, they should gain the same results every single time. The validity of your results. This is how accurate the test results are, or how accurate the test you're using is to test what you want it to test. So for example, if you want to know how flexible somebody is, how valid is the sit and reach test to test somebody's whole body flexibility? And then the practicality, how easy it is to actually carry out the test. This, considering in here, you'd think about the cost of it, the time it takes to actually do it, and the equipment that you actually need to be able to carry it out. Hopefully you understand those three and you're able to remember those and describe what they mean. We're going to move on now to advantages and disadvantages of three tests. So you need to know the advantages and disadvantages of the sit and reach test, the multi-stage fitness test, and the Illinois agility test. So basically, what are the advantages and disadvantages of these three tests? There are a lot of them, and it's best to probably do this in a bit of a table with advantages, disadvantages. Good luck, pause the video, get down as many as you possibly can, and I'll show you the actual answers on the next slide. So here's the answers. I'm not actually going to read them out. I'm going to allow you to pause it and to actually just read what they are. As you can see, there's quite a lot of them. It's very important that you know at least 2 or 3 advantages and disadvantages for each of the tests leading into your exam. And having mastered that, having learned that, that's the final bit of the video. So what can you do now? You should master this video basically. There's a lot of information in this video. It's probably the biggest one that I've done so far, and all the information in there is absolutely vital. You should then apply this information to each of the fitness test each of the fitness tests that you've done. So for every single one, you should be thinking about all the different areas within this video. Then move on to one of the other videos, master that, and hopefully you'll be ready for your exam. Good luck.